Hello everyone, this is Molly and this is Greta, and we're here on behalf of Project Oceanology for our Earth Day cleanup. So we decided to do a cleanup right outside of our house today. Greta, why did you decide to help me clean up today?
Because I wanted to help you tell the names of the garbage.
Okay.
And because I wanted to tell you something. It pollutes nature! And I wanted to tell you something else.
Okay, one more.
When we sort the garbage.
When we sort the garbage, okay. So our road is kind of busy. This is our road here. So we actually did a lot of our cleanup already because we didn't think it was safe to be trying to go live and use the app while we were collecting garbage. So we're gonna head down to where the garbage is. Oh, did you find something else to put in there? Glasses? We just found a pair of glasses. So Greta and I, yeah, put it right in the bucket. Good job, Greta, good eye. We live, good, that's the,
found another lens for the glass.
That's the weirdest thing we found so far, I think. Here, let's go. We live in the Thames River watershed, and in particular, our watershed is the Pocatonic Brook, which empties into the Thames River, and then the Thames River empties right into Long Island Sound. So pollution and things like that, things that when rain falls on our house, or if pollution comes on the road, that goes into the brook and it could end up in Long Island Sound. So that's one of the reasons we cleaned up today. So Greta, let's take a look at some of the different types of things that we found today. Let's switch the camera over. So we look at all this stuff, first of all. We're going to be logging it on an app called the CleanSwell app, but let's talk about it. So first off, let's look at this bucket here.
I'm dumping this stuff out.
Oh, okay. Be careful not to let it blow away. This is what we just found at the end of the driveway in our most recent effort. So we found a pair of glasses.
With a lens.
Yeah. And look at these things we found right here. Do you know what these are?
Help putting this in.
We're not going to put the glasses back together right now. Just leave it like this. I don't think it can be fixed. I don't think those glasses can be fixed. These things right here are called cigarette butts. They're for people smoking. I don't want our trash that we just collected to blow away. So I'm going to grab it and put it in this bucket right here. But cigarette butts are actually when people do cleanups. So we're participating with the Ocean Conservancy using their CleanSwell app today. And one of the things we've learned from the Ocean Conservancy is that cigarette butts are the most commonly found type of debris on our shores. And we did some research today, didn't we, Greta, on how long different types of trash last in nature?
Mom?
Cigarette butts last from 1 to 5 years. Yes, do you have something you want to tell them? Here.
I want to tell them about the turtle.
About the turtles. Okay, let's talk about that right now. Okay, so here's another bucket we found, and this is a whole bunch of food wrappers food wrappers and plastic bags. And look at all this plastic. This is plastic wrapping, maybe from the construction site nearby. And Greta, you wanted to share some information, I think, about what happens to plastic bags in the ocean.
Turtles think it's jellyfish, and they want to eat it.
Yeah. So Greta, do you know how might a plastic bag get from near our house to the ocean? Because we don't live in the ocean. The wind. Okay, so the wind could blow a plastic bag, or it could go into the stream, couldn't it?
Yeah.
Because we live near some streams, and those streams, we're in the watershed where the streams empty into Pocatonic Brook, which comes out on the Thames River. And so a plastic bag from our house could indeed end up all the way in Long Island Sound, where wildlife could end up eating it, and it could get hurt that way, couldn't it? Okay, one of the most common things that we found are actually these. Do you see this huge bin, Greta? This is all plastic bottles and plastic cups. And now, do you know what the problem is with plastics in particular in the watershed? Why should we worry about that? Yeah, don't touch it without your gloves, please. What's the problem with plastic going into nature? We find a lot. Animals can eat it. What else? How long does plastic last?
Like forever.
like forever, indeed. In fact, the plastic bottle that goes into our watershed, that can last approximately 450 or 500 years. It can take that long to break down. So it really is true that when we put plastics in our watershed, those things are around for a really long time. Can we think of any alternatives to drinking out of plastic disposable bottles?
Don't drink out of them. Drink out the reusable.
She says don't drink out of them and drink out of reusable bottles. That is really good advice. One more question. How do you think some of these things ended up on our roadside? Where do we think they got here? Do you know? Greta, do you have any ideas about, don't do that. Do you have any ideas about how you think some of these things we collected ended up on our roadside?
People threw them off in the cars.
So possibly people threw them out of their cars, or maybe when the garbage and recycling trucks come, they fall. Here's another type of thing that we found a lot of. This is an aluminum can. This is probably out of somebody's recycling. And these aluminum cans can also last for hundreds and hundreds of years before they break down, up to 200 years. We also found an example of a glass bottle, and they can also take a really long time to break down, hundreds of years. We found this really unusual looking thing. Greta, any guesses about what this might be? Don't touch it, just look at it.
It's something from the road. It's the thing, the lines on the road.
Oh, good job. It took me forever to figure this out, but this is actually a piece of the road paint. And we found it all over the place along the side of the road. So for somehow it was coming up and littering the side of the road. And eventually I guess this stuff breaks down, but it probably is pretty nasty because it's outdoor paint. We found a lot of styrofoam. Styrofoam will break down in about 50 years. And let's see. We found some other very specific types of plastic. So in this container here, here's some smaller stuff. We found a lot more cigarette butts. Again, that's the most common type of trash that ends up on Long Island Sound. We found more styrofoam, like this egg carton. And then look what else we found. Plastic straws. Again, another plastic that was, this is just one plastic straw that got smushed, maybe on the road. And plastic straws can also, because they're plastic, they can last for hundreds of years. Some other things you might be wondering about, grocery bags take up to 20 years to biodegrade, and even then, when these plastic things break down, they don't break down all the way, they just break down into microplastics. And it's more likely, even in a place like this, here in Ledyard, Connecticut, where I'm not right next to the ocean, the smaller the pieces of plastic get, the more likely they're going to be carried down a storm drain. Maybe many of you tuned in earlier and saw Callie and her family talking about storm drains and how storm drains can sometimes carry water right from your community straight out into the Sound. So on this Earth Day, thank you for joining us. I hope you are out finding a way yourselves to clean up nature. Whoa, I'm gonna have to rescue that piece of styrofoam there. I hope you're finding out a way to clean up yourselves. Project O has been live every hour. We have one more left at 2 o'clock, so tune back in to join Kyle. Or go out and do a cleanup yourself. If you do, please let us know. Email your results to cleanup@oceanology.org. If you go on our website, you can see directions, or look on our Facebook page for directions on how to join into our cleanup. And if you send us your information, we'll include you on our leaderboard. Our goal is to do 50 cleanups and clean up at least 50 pounds of trash this week, Earth Week. So shout out to everyone who's watching. Thank you so much for joining us. And we'll be seeing you later this week.